Hi, welcome to Craft It Sweetly. I'm Deanna. Thanks so much for being here. This video is a combination of doing the 4-edge photo book art as well as book folding to some degree. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. For this pattern, what I'm using is this dragonfly that you see on the screen. So I have the pattern already made. I made it using the photobookart.com app. It's a web app, and if you haven't used it before, it's super easy. You just enter the height in inches, that's very important, the number of pages, and then upload your photo. And in a matter of 30 seconds, you have your pattern. You can choose to have it ink saver as it is here, or do it regular. Now I have the pattern already made. Like I said, all my pages are right here. And the book that I'm using is here. So the book that I have is roughly 380 some pages. I think I counted. It's 370. And looking at this pattern, I think it's 382, I think it was. I only have 191 strips. Why is that? Because I'm going to create this book as a shadow photo book art. So instead of doing the image where you have every single strip, this is going to be every other strip. So let's see how this kind of goes. This is the first page, and I'm using the Cutterpillar crop to cut these pages. What I love about the Cutterpillar, if you haven't seen any of my videos, it's the fact that it has this light right here. And when I put my pattern on top of here, it's just so incredibly easy to cut because you can see where the line is on the page right there because of the light that shines through. So I am going to trim that off. And the way this blade works, this I've had only recently, but I've had the Pro for a couple of years. Same blade, have not had to replace it. So I am a big fan of Cutterpillar products. That comes off, and then I am taking the bottom off as well, so I know I'm taking all the numbers off. I used to mark the strips in numerical order, so if you're new, you should do that just so you don't get the strips out of order. You know which strip is what, but I've done so many that I can kind of keep them in order and not worry about scattering them. That comes off this. And then I'm gonna cut the strip, so you'll see how easy it is to cut these strips just going back and forth with the Cutterpillar. So I line the light right there, right along my cutting line, and I just move it and go back and forth. So it's super easy to cut these strips. Now if you need to score the strips before, or need to have the strips scored so that you can fold them in half, I do have a video using the Cutterpillar crease on how to do that if you need to score them before folding them. If you don't, then you can just free fold them, which is equally easy, but I know sometimes people have a hard time folding them perfectly in half. So I have all my strips here. So I'll move this out of the way right now and then bring my book folding stand up. And I do have the book folding stand in my Etsy shop if you're looking for one. Makes it much easier to do the folding. So I have a few of the pages done, but I wanted to show you the process for this. So I take the strips and fold them in half gently. So at this point, you can see that they're not really folded. It's just a bare bend. Okay, and then separate. And then you can press with your fingers like this, or you can give them a hard crease. Now, because this has a 180 fold involved, I probably wouldn't crease this with a bone folder or anything. So just a gentle finger press would be sufficient with this. So this is the strip that goes on first. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 180 fold with this. So I've already done like a few pages, as I mentioned. So I'm using a 180 guide. This is the wide one that I have. And it does have a 90-degree angle on it. And I just go right against the pages here. And then using some kind of stylus, you can give it a score line. And then I add a little, because this is a narrower fold, I add just a little bit of tape to make sure that this stays down. And then I add the tape that was going to hold my strip of with the image down. And I take that back. This does not need the tape because this is a blank one. So let me peel that off. There we go. No harm, no foul there. So I already had one that I just did with the photo. Now same thing. I'm going to add a 180 score line on this. Whoops. You want to make sure that this stays at 90 degrees. Now when you get towards the bottom of the book, if you have trouble, what I would recommend before you get there or right at the beginning of scoring this book, you could technically score the entire book for the 180. I would flip the book upside down and do the, you know, like 40 or so pages first back here. So that way those are scored and you don't have to wait till you've used up all the pages, which makes it a little hard to, because there would be nothing to hook the tool onto. So that goes there, fold it over, and now I'm adding the tape that's going to hold the strip down. Same process. You want to make sure that the strip is flush up here before you press it down on the tape, and then same down here. You want to make sure that it's all the way in. So now the photo strip part that with the pattern is over a 180 fold. So that's the strip, and now I do a plain one again. So every other one is just a plain 180 fold with no design on it, and this is what's going to create that shadow kind of effect to it. Now if you were to do this 180 fold deeper, then you really don't need to do the tape like I'm doing right now, but because this is fairly thin, I don't want it to come loose or kind of nestle into something else. So that goes there, and then I have another strip that I have folded, so I will do one more. I did the plain one, and then the strip one is right here. So just a little bit of tape, and then this goes on here. Same process. So it's same as doing the photo strips when you do every single page, but with this we're gonna skip every other page, and then but it'll still have a 180 fold to it. So that's what it looks like from the top. And now now you can kind of see the individual lines. If you were to do this without a 180 fold, the individual leaves that don't have pattern on it, I think would get lost. So you do want one of the you want them to have a 180 fold. So if you don't do this as a 180 fold, then it would be higher up. So that's why you do everything as a 180 fold, and then apply the pattern to every other strip, every other page. So I'll do about half the book and then show you what it looks like with this effect of a shadow fold to it. Okay, so I will be back once I do some more strips. At this point I've done quite a few of the pages. This is what's left of the book, but I just wanted to show you again kind of a couple more pages here. So I did score the entire book, and the bottom part I scored first so that that part was done. But I'll just take the page and fold it right along the score line, add a little bit of tape to this side so that it stays put, and then this I keep doing 2 pages at a time because it just makes it easier, you know, not to lose track of am I adding a strip or not. And then add tape there so this stays closed, and then I have the strip that's going on next. I have 2 lined up here. a little bit of tape here. And the strip attached right there. Okay, so let me do one more because I have one more strip here. Now you can see that the part that has the strip on it is the thickness of the paper out, basically, because these are all scored at the same depth, but then by adding the strip is actually going to be a little farther out. So let me get the book now, and you can see the top here all look the same, but only every other page is folded back. And let me move the arms of the stand back, and then this is what it looks like. So it's a shadow fold on it. You can see the lines kind of make it seem like it's almost behind the screen because of the shadow effect to it by doing every other page. So pretty cool effect. I'm gonna finish this book and then you'll see what it looks like completed. So now I'm finished with the book, and I haven't stabilized it yet on the bottom. You can tell right here as the page is curling a little bit. Once I stabilize it on the bottom, then all this will be completely even and all set. So, but I wanted to show you the finished book without stabilizing it. You'll get the idea of how it looks afterwards. But with the shadow design on it, this is what the book looks like. So you can see the individual, like every other page that I've done where it's skipped, and it gives it this softer look, I guess. Just like it would if you were doing the shadow fold for, you know, cut and fold types of patterns, where it's not as bold. But it's an interesting look, just, you know, another option for you to consider when doing these designs. So definitely, you know, it's not as bold, again, because I'm taking away, it's kind of breaking up the image by doing a blank page in between each one of these. So another idea, if you do this kind of technique, post it in my Facebook group. Please tag Crafted Sweetly. Would love to see what you create with it. But if you have any questions about it, please comment below. Would love to see your work posted in my Facebook group as usual. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next project.